Hi and welcome to this Now Maths Revised Now video on percentage change. Firstly, what do we mean by percentage change? Well, if a value has been increased or decreased, we can always express this increase or decrease as a percentage of the original amount. In this video, we'll take a look at how to calculate this percentage without a calculator first and then with a calculator after. So let's take a look at a couple of questions without a calculator first. On the question on the left, we have a coat that's increased in price from £80 to £104, and we're asked to work out by what percentage has the coat increased in price. Before we worry about the percentage that the coat has increased in price, it's going to be helpful for us to work out the number of pounds that the coat has increased in price by first. So we're going to subtract the old price from the new price. So that's £104, subtract £80, and this tells us that there has been a £24 increase in price. What we need to work out is by what percentage has the price increased by. What we need to know is what percentage £80 has increased by. This means that we need to write £24 as a percentage of £80. In order to do this, we're going to write this as a fraction first. So we're going to write 24 out of 80, and we're going to convert this fraction into a percentage by making the denominator 100. Currently, our denominator of 80 doesn't go into 100, so let's try and simplify this fraction a little bit and see if we can find something that does go into 100. I can see that 24 and 80 both share a factor of 4, so let's divide numerator and denominator by 4. If we divide 24 by 4, we get 6. And if we divide 80 by 4, we get 20. Now, 20 is a factor of 100, so we can try and make this fraction have a denominator of 100 from here. And 20 goes into 100 5 times, which means we have to multiply the denominator and the numerator by 5, and 6 times 5 gives us 30. So we have 30 over 100, which is the same as 30%. So that tells us that the coat has increased in price by 30%. And that's the answer to our question. Now looking at the question on the right hand side, this time we have that the price of a book has been reduced from £6.80 to £6.12, and we're asked to work out what is the percentage reduction. Similar to the previous question, before we worry about the percentage reduction, we need to know what the reduction is in pounds and pence. So to do that, we're going to subtract the new price from the old price. So that's £6.80, subtract £6.12, which gives us 68 pence. So there has been a 68 pence reduction. Now we need to know what percentage the £6.80 has been reduced by, which means we need to write 68 pence as a percentage of £6.80. To do this, we're going to write it as a fraction to begin with. So we're going to write 68 pence on the numerator and £6.80 on the denominator, which I will write as 680 pence. It is really important that the units on the numerator and the denominator of the fraction are the same here. Similar to previously, we now need to try and make the denominator into 100. And similar to the previous question, 680 does not go into 100. So let's try and simplify this fraction first. Since 68 is a factor of both the numerator and denominator, let's divide both by 68. And on the numerator, 68 divided by 68 is 1. And on the denominator, 680 divided by 68 is 10. So we have a tenth. Now 10 does go into 100, and 10 multiplied by 10 is 100. So let's multiply both numerator and denominator by 10, which gives us 10 over 100, or 10%. And this tells us that the book has been reduced by 10%. And this is our final answer. Now we'll look at a method that we can use to calculate percentage change with a calculator. Percentage change can actually be calculated using a formula. The formula is on screen now, and it's based on the method that we've just used without a calculator. So without a calculator, we worked out the difference between the two amounts we were given by subtracting, and then we wrote a fraction with the difference on the numerator and the original amount on the denominator. In this formula, you can see that we've multiplied the fraction by 100. That converts this fraction into a percentage in one easy step. So if we have a calculator, we can type the whole thing in at once, and we can calculate the percentage change nice and quickly. Now let's have a look at a couple of examples so we can see how this actually works. So on the question on the left, we have a car that's decreased in value, and we're asked to work out the percentage decrease in value to one decimal place. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work out by how many pounds has the car decreased in value. So that means we need to work out £10,200 subtract £6,680, which tells us that there has been a £3,520 decrease. What we need to know is what percentage the £10,200 has decreased by. So we're going to write 3,520 as a fraction of 10,200. So using the formula from the previous screen, we have 3,520, which is the difference, over the original price, which was £10,200. And since we have a calculator, rather than converting this to a percentage manually, we multiply the fraction by 100, and we can type this into our calculator all in one go to work out the percentage change. And when we do that, we get a decimal coming up, which is 34.509803, and this decimal goes on infinitely, and this is our percentage. Now the question asks for our percentage to one decimal place. So if we round this to one decimal place, we get 34.5%. So the answer to our question is that there has been a 34.5% decrease. Now looking at the question on the right-hand side, this time we have the price of a cup of coffee that has risen, and we're asked to calculate the percentage change in price correct to one decimal place again. So similar to previously, we need to work out the difference between the old cost and the new cost. So we're going to work out £4.35 subtract £3.50, which in this case is 85 pence or £0.85. So there has been an 85 pence rise in the price of the cup of coffee. Now we know the difference, we need to write the difference as a fraction of the original price, which is £3.50. So we write 0.85 over 3.50, and we don't need to worry about converting this fraction into a percentage manually, because if we multiply the whole thing by 100, our calculator will convert it for us. And when we type this into our calculator this time, we get an answer of 24.285714 recurring percent. And similar to the previous question, we're asked to give our answer correct to one decimal place. So ignoring the fact that this decimal is recurring, if we round to one decimal place, we're going to get 24.3%. So the answer is that there has been a 24.3% rise to one decimal place. Thank you so much for watching this Now Maths Revise Now video on percentage change. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a like, and we'll see you next time.